In Columbus, a new bill was introduced, House Bill 322, and it's gotten some attention for being a ban on teaching critical race theory in public schools in Ohio. But tacked on at the bottom of the bill is language that some advocates say would be detrimental to transgender students. First News reporter Desiree Goslin spoke with advocates for trans youth and state representatives supporting the bill.
House Bill 322 says in part, no teacher shall be required by a policy to affirm a belief in the multiplicity or fluidity of gender identities or like ideas against the teacher's sincerely held religious or philosophical convictions.
This is not an issue that has anything to do with education.
Kevin Ulatowski has been an LGBTQ advocate for most of his life. He spent 4 years using his master's in psychology helping youth at a crisis center.
Probably about 95% of the youth that I personally came in contact with were seriously suicidal.
He says for many of the children he counseled, their issues with gender identity started in the classroom when teachers refused to use a student's preferred name or pronouns.
The student gradually declines, starts to withdraw, grades go down. The teacher already has a preformed idea of this student being different, not deserving of what every other student gets.
According to a study from the American Academy of Pediatrics, as many as 50% of transgender people attempt suicide at least once in their lives. Daniel Tirabassi came out as trans when he was 20.
So when I was younger, I was different.
He struggled with depression and suicide for years.
Through my teenage years up until I was 20, I ended up with 5 suicide attempts in and out of psychiatrists.
Even though he didn't start to transition in school, he says a bill like this would have devastated him.
The government is giving that to teachers as kind of a save yourself from getting fired for not believing in transgender rights.
We reached out to all 28 sponsors and co-sponsors of the bill. Representative Gene Schmidt of Miami Township says in part, the claim of some that this bill is somehow discriminatory is blatantly false. The government cannot force people to compromise their core values. The First Amendment is very clear on this matter. But Tirabassi and Ulatowski both say they don't believe a bill like this will help foster an environment where students can learn.
They're going to do worse on test scores. They're not going to want to be going to school. They're going to be truant. They're going to find any reason not to go to that class.
This bill has been introduced in the Ohio House but has not made it to the floor or an education committee for debate or a vote. Reporting in Youngstown, Desiree Goslin, WKBN 27 First News.